It was a quiet winter morning in a small town outside Chicago when David Carter stepped into the old brick church. His hands trembling, his heart barely holding together. Snow clung to his coat as if the cold itself refused to let him go. Today he was saying goodbye to his only daughter. Emily Carter had been 9 years old. Too young to leave this world. Too full of laughter to become only a memory. The church was filled with people, neighbors, teachers, family, friends, but David felt completely alone. The wooden pew creaked as he sat down in the front row, staring at the small white casket placed near the altar. Inside it lay everything that had ever mattered to him. The minister began to speak, his voice soft and steady, but David barely heard a word. All he could see were flashes of the past. Emily riding her bike down the sidewalk. Emily begging him for ice cream on hot summer days. Emily falling asleep on his chest during movie nights. His chest tightened. The pain was so heavy it felt like it might crush him. Then, he felt a light tap on his arm. David turned, expecting his sister or a family friend. Instead, standing beside him was a young boy he had never seen before. The boy couldn't have been more than 11. His skin was dark, his jacket too thin for the cold. His shoes worn and cracked at the edges. His hair was messy, and his eyes were calm in a way that didn't belong to a child. The boy leaned closer, and in a whisper so soft it barely rose above the church music, he said, "Sir, she isn't gone." David froze. The boy continued, "She's in the sunshine. She's in the wind. She's in the people who still love you." David stared at him, unsure whether to be angry or to cry. Before he could say a word, the boy stepped back and quietly walked toward the back of the church, disappearing among the shadows. The service continued, but something inside David had shifted. For the first time since the accident, the pain loosened its grip, just a little. After the funeral ended, people surrounded him with hugs and condolences. "I'm so sorry for your loss. She was such a beautiful child. Stay strong." David nodded politely, but none of the words stayed with him. Only the whisper. Outside, the snow was falling harder. As he walked down the church steps, he saw the boy again, sitting alone on the curb, shivering, waiting for nothing. David hesitated. In the past, he might have walked past without noticing, but today he couldn't. He slowly approached and knelt in front of the child. "Hey," he said gently. "What's your name?" "Marcus," the boy replied. Are you hungry?" Marcus nodded. They walked to a small diner across the street. Inside, warmth filled the air. David ordered pancakes, eggs, hot chocolate. As they ate, Marcus told his story. His mother had passed away 2 years earlier. His father had left long before that. He had been moving between shelters and the streets, surviving however he could. Yet he spoke without bitterness, with quiet strength. David, without meaning to, began telling his own story. About Emily, about the accident, about the silence in his house that now felt unbearable. Marcus listened carefully. Then he said something David would never forget. "She wouldn't want you to stop living," Marcus said softly. "She'd want you to help somebody like you helped me today." Tears filled David's eyes. In that moment, something impossible happened. Grief met kindness, and kindness began to heal it. Over the following weeks, David kept seeing Marcus, bringing him meals, helping him find warm clothes, talking with him after school. Eventually, David invited him to stay in his home, just for a night. That night turned into many. David helped Marcus enroll in school. Neighbors, Black, white, Latinos, came together to donate clothes, books, tutoring. A broken family slowly became a new one. Marcus brought laughter back into David's home. Sometimes when he laughed, David heard Emily's voice in it. One afternoon, as they walked through a park where Emily used to play, Marcus looked up and said, "She's watching us, you know." David smiled through tears. "I think she is." Years passed. Marcus graduated high school with honors. David stood in the crowd, clapping harder than anyone. He realized something beautiful. He had lost a daughter, but kindness had given him a son. And somewhere in every good thing they did, Emily still lived on. Sometimes healing doesn't come from answers. It comes from kindness, a whisper, a meal, a moment of compassion. You never know whose life you might change, or how they might change yours. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, and subscribe to Unseen Hours, because every act of kindness creates a ripple. And sometimes that ripple can change the world.